Hi everyone, this is Luke Johnson for Run It Once, and today I'm going to bring you the third and almost definitely final part of this live play series. Going to be playing some 5k, 2k, and some 1k if it shows up. I think this is about the limit I want to play at in terms of big blinds. I'm 180 effective with two other players, but I think that I feel okay with that. If it's going to be 200, though, I will be leaving and finding a new table. I rolled 66 with sixes, so fate would suggest I make a full house at some point in this hand. Sizing here is going to be, I actually forget, I think it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be big though, which might seem really back to front. Probably not this deep, I've got to go with this sizing. Yeah, this might seem back to front to size up on this board, but I think that's honestly the way it's working. 6 deuce and pure giving up. I'd rather bluff 10 deuce of hearts than 6 deuce here. This is the spot where you're not always going to bluff bottom of range. You would rather just have a blocker. Essentially, turn I will press call. Expect to win a lot now. Calling. Davy's been here for all of 20 minutes and already has 20k. This is not surprising to me. Two-third check. I will bet this hand very infrequently. I think we have to defend here versus small bet size. Seems small enough for me at 30%. I will defend. Queen 6. I'm going to get in there every time. And cool. Turn a really bad gut shot. I expect to see a lot of barrels. If he checks, I will bluff this hand pretty aggressively here. And now just fold as played. I have lots of random eights in my range. There's better hands in general. We'll mark it though. I'm actually curious about both of those hands. The Queen 6. I'm unsure about if I can raise the river. I definitely can't call, but there might be a touch of raising going on. And then the 9-8. I'm curious on the flop. I'm not that curious, but it's still worth looking at. A good thing to follow here is that on the turn, you use these hands very aggressively as stabs, and then you would use a hand like 9-8 of hearts, let's say, as a very high frequency check back, because if you bet 9-8 of hearts and he jams, which he's going to do often, you are hating life by bet folding that much equity. So you would rather use a hand like this, which is a lot more naked and essentially it's just less bothered about the bet fold. So there's a scale there of equity that you want to keep in mind. The more equity you have, not necessarily the more you want to bet. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So it's something I might make a video on this. I have a good understanding, or at least I believe I do. So this was what I was talking about with the paired board. So imagine I was the button and Pastor was the big blind. I wouldn't range bet this one, but if it was 9-9-3, I would. Raising sometimes here before 20, otherwise calling. Not going to lead the turn, and I will press call with 9s with a heart. I would be folding without. As played, going to check fold turn here versus big size and flop. He gets to barrel very aggressively for like 15, 16 big blinds. 18. Easy call with queen. 9 here. No raising, no folding. Almost misclick fold there somehow. And river. River would have been interesting here. We'll raise this hand before 25. Okay, finally a board to mix on. Well, that's paired. So I will bet here around half the time, and with hands probably around half the time as well. Yeah, it seems okay. Good suits, but I have worse hands like 9-8 instead to use first. Turning double gut shot here and having the 10 of hearts, I think this hand bets very often. I will say before 75. Just about got in there. Here I'm going to be betting. I'm delayed C betting. Okay, well I take that back then. Actually, you probably should have used it sometimes. Easy bet. This is definitely a leak I've got sometimes with these delayed C bets. I think I should have found this hand as a bet and I've missed it. I'm certain that my hand makes this turn as played as an easy bet on river, but I should have mixed the turn. I think his call is very standard as well. Nice hand. Turning double gut shots, you really need to mind your frequencies here. It's very, very, very easy to overbluff if you're using all of your gut shots and open enders. So here I have a double gut shot with a heart. So I'm using it at 75, but if I didn't have the heart, I'm reducing the frequency. This one will bet every time. So I am going with a 2/3, checking very often. This hand seems reasonable to use, though, half the time I was thinking. And turn here, I do just like betting. I'm going to size down a bit and then use my hand every time. This hand is just pushing a lot of equity here, blocking flushes. And not having any showdown just seems very good. I don't have Jack-10 offsuit to use instead. Yeah, I'm going to have to bluff this one sometimes. So sizing is going to be 2/3, and I guess just all in here. Yeah, I'm going to have some ace-x of diamonds here. I think I will. Honestly, I think jam, like before 75 here. I hate it, but I have to do it. I have so much value here. Oh, fuck. God, I don't want to upload that one to run it once. Yeah, this has to be fine. Like, what are my other bluffs? My ace-x of diamonds here. God, I want to minimize this table so hard. My ace-x of diamonds is now top pair. So what are my bluffs? This feels very good. Oh, man. My heart is racing. I don't think I've ever made a bigger bluff on river. How much is this? It's like 8.2k, yeah. Very embarrassing moment to be checking back the nuts. I can imagine that getting re-uploaded to YouTube somewhere. Happens to the best of us. Well, he had king 8. He probably wouldn't have called, but maybe he would have. Yeah, I stand by this bluff as well. It's one of those spots where you're praying for a fold, but then you're asking yourself. So sometimes when I'm bluffing, particularly in these big spots, I'm thinking, if he calls, how would I feel? And I feel fine. I obviously feel gutted that he called, but how can I not bluff this hand? I just have to. This card is only blocking value. He cannot have a king of diamonds unless he has king x of diamonds. And then to make matters even better, the ace is now top pair, so I can't bluff that. Which means that this hand is like the sole hand in my range to bluff. I have some king jack as well. But even then, king queen's better than king jack because king jack would block some check call, check fold, pocket jacks. Pocket jacks is not finding a full frequency of 4 bets at 200 effective. So he would have some jacks in his range that would go check call, check fold, whereas he's not going to be calling queens. So I even unblock that. So yeah, this is just the single best hand in my entire range. So I'm glad I found it. Mostly jamming. I think sometimes sizing down because there is a part of my range that wants to do that, like pocket 9s, no diamond. So I think I played the hand very nicely. This is 2/3 check, and I'm checking every time. Yeah, I think just mostly shove, otherwise size down to like 40, 46 blinds, wherever 2/3 pot ends up being, 45 and some change. 4s I will fold without a club. I think that's okay. Although look at it later. I should have a heart monitor and I can overlay somehow on the video. It would have been spiking there. I could actually feel, you know when you're like either working out or just very, very nervous, you can actually feel your heart pumping. That's how nervous I was there. I've never jammed. Well, yeah, I've never jammed 8k on the river, and I definitely would rather be value betting than bluffing. So that was cool.